don't even know why I'm watching this. I genuinely don't know why I'm watching this. Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's opening his video with Stone Cold Steve Austin. First of all, I love Stone Cold. This was one of my favorite wrestlers. I almost said rappers for some reason. Like, what the fuck? The fact that he's using Stone Cold Steve Austin to open up his goddamn video as the intro to his video tells me exactly what I needed to know. He's about to shit all over this movie in his review. This is how predictable Tyrone is, right? How long is this video? 10 minutes and 17 seconds. Tyrone is either, for the whole duration of his video, is going to do a stupid ass Stone Cold Steve Austin impersonation, or for the first beginning of his video, he's going to do a Stone Cold Steve Austin impersonation. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. He's going to come in, sit his big ass down in his chair, and do some god-awful impersonation of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Just watch. I will say this. If this happens to be a positive review, I will formally apologize to Tyrone. Not that he gives a fuck. Not that he even knows who I am. I don't give a fuck. I will still do a whole ass apology video. This review is actually positive, or fair at least. If he says he doesn't like it and it's fair, I'll apologize. I will delete the last video. I'll whatever it takes. I will admit that I'm wrong. I am a man at the end of the day. You feel me? I can admit when I'm wrong. But here's how I'm not wrong, because he's fucking predictable. Because before the movie came out, he was shitting on it before even trailers came out. When the trailers came out, then he just went full fucking balls to the wall, like way off the rails, bro. Derailed the whole goddamn train, you feel me? So, with the mindset like his, I'm pretty sure that he walked into that theater with the intention of already hating the movie. His mind was already made up before the movie even came out that he was going to hate it. But the off chance that I'm wrong, even though I know I'm wrong, I'm 90% sure, I'm 97.6% sure that I'm not wrong. But if I am, I will apologize. You feel what I'm saying?
Me. All right. Superman 2025 was stupid. It was dumb. It was corny. It was cheesy. It was goofy. It was campy, and it was one big old piece of trash. I said it was one big old piece of trash. My God.
Holy fuck, I need to play the goddamn lottery. I need to play the fucking lottery. I just predicted I don't even know why. Why am I acting like that's impressive? It's not. It's Tyrone. Anybody could have predicted that. Oh my God. Why did I try to give him the benefit of the doubt? Why? I just came from the movie, as you can see. As you can see, I just came from the theaters. This is like fresh. I'm like 30 minutes after the movie just ended, right? I just got home. Trash is crazy. I am a very unbiased person. I can give credit where credit's due. I can be very critical when needed to be. So this movie, I'm just going to give you my score. If you want to check out after that, check out. If you want to stick around and hear my thoughts, feel free to do so, and I appreciate you. This movie was a 9 out of goddamn 10. Sorry, Tyrone. Listen, man, it hit all the fucking boxes. Everything I needed for it to be a successful Superman movie, at least in my opinion, it checked it all off. It was great. Shout out to James Gunn. Bravo. And I'm not your biggest James Gunn fan. I hated Guardians of the Galaxy 3, especially Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Hated that fucking movie. However, with this movie, I think he nailed it. I think he nailed Superman. I think he nailed Lois Lane. I don't give a fuck about Jimmy Olsen. I'll be honest with that. And there's more on that later. I think he nailed characters that we never even see. He definitely nailed Guy Gardner. Guy Gardner is an asshole. He's self-absorbed. He's kind of stupid. The guy, I can't remember his name playing him, but he nailed that role. And I love him. I want to see more Guy Gardner. I want to see more Green Lantern. I can't wait till they introduce more Green Lantern Corps members, whatever. But yeah, he was fantastic. My only complaint is Hawk Girl. They probably could have left her out of this fucking movie. It's cool that she was introduced. You know what I'm saying? Because now that's just one character off the checklist, I guess. She virtually does nothing. She's just there for a couple one-liners, if you want to call it that. Maybe a little more than one-liners. I don't have a problem with her necessarily, but it's just like they probably could have left her out of the movie or replaced her with somebody a little bit more interesting, or just make her more interesting. Jimmy Olsen, I've seen a lot of people complaining about him, saying they don't understand his character. So his character is a chick magnet. He has Riz, as you kids would call it, for some reason. Now, Jimmy Olsen is a very average guy. He's not your ultra handsome. He could, if he wanted to be a fucking model, he couldn't, right? He's not super smart. He's also not dumb. He's very fucking average. So that's the joke. The joke is that this average guy, for some reason, is a chick magnet. The plot with Jimmy Olsen is that Lex Luthor's girlfriend, by the way, this is spoilers if I didn't say that. Did I say that? I don't think I said that. I'll give you a couple seconds actually before I carry on. Good? Are we good? Okay. Now, Jimmy Olsen's ex-girlfriend is Lex Luthor's current girlfriend, or just some bop he's smashing along the way, whatever the case may be. The relationship dynamic between Jimmy and his ex is clearly he can't stand her. He borderline hates her, but he's using her for information, conveniently so. I have a problem with that because throughout the movie, it's really Jimmy Olsen conveniently getting all this leaked information from his ex-girlfriend, rather than them just going with having Lois Lane do some detective work of her own and do her own journalism, versus her just being on the phone and waiting for information from Jimmy or whoever provides it to her. There was a part where Jimmy Olsen fed Lois Lane information and he had no idea the information he was even looking at until Lois Lane cracked a code. It kind of balanced out, but it's like, it's just a little too convenient. To backtrack to Superman, the movie starts off with him losing his fight to Ultraman, who's disguising himself as a character called the Hammer from another country that's trying to invade another country. Turns out Lex Luthor is behind all of this. His whole plan is to seemingly benefit from this war, but in reality, he's using the war as manipulation to have a reason to kill Superman, right? Now, he starts this war between these two countries knowing that Superman was going to intervene, which he does. So Lex Luthor tries to make a boss call to the higher ups and was like, okay, as y'all can see, this dude is flying around doing whatever the fuck he wants. We have a treaty with these people, and yet he just threatened their president. These are our allies, and Superman just flew in, interrupted a war that has nothing to do with him, and he threatened their president, right? So Lex is doing all he can to defame Superman, and it starts to work. people will start to turn on him a little bit because they see him getting his ass kicked by Ultraman while he's in disguise. And the whole time, Ultraman is like, well, this wouldn't be happening if Superman never intervened. So the Americans are like, come on, Superman, why did you have to go intervene? You know what I'm saying? They're kind of stupid. They're easily manipulated, right? But then that plan falls on its ass. So then Lex Luthor breaks into the Fortress of Solitude, as you saw in the trailers, and he's looking for anything he can. Now they come across a message from Superman's parents telling him to do good. This is the reason why we sent you to Earth, so you can do as much good as possible. Turns out the good that they're talking about, what's the word I'm looking for? They're looking out for their own best self-interest. They want what's best for Krypton, even though they're already dead. So half of the message was corrupted and couldn't be translated. So Superman only got the part to where they were telling him to do good and be a savior for Earth, right? The real message was them telling him to be a savior for Krypton and to rule over Earth. So they're seemingly evil people, right? They even go as far as to tell him to kill as many humans as possible. They're dull creatures. They're fragile. They're dumb. They're easily manipulated, as they proved to be throughout the movie. The planet starts to think that Superman is out to get them. For like the last 3 years, Superman has been doing nothing but protecting this planet, the people, all of the creatures, everybody, from all kinds of threats. And then all of a sudden they're just like, oh, this whole time he's just a fucking alien trying to kill us all, trying to rule us. So I'm not sure how they were so easily manipulated. That was kind of like a minor complaint, I guess, but not too big of a fucking deal. I thought the pacing was perfect. I would have loved to see more of Superman, but I feel like it was still very satisfying of what we got. Mr. Terrific was pretty cool. I'm kind of glad they didn't give him an origin. I think it doesn't feel appropriate for this movie. The movie doesn't hold your hand, is what I'm trying to say. They kind of rely on the idea that you already know who these characters are. Metahumans have been long established in this universe, long before Superman ever showed up. Mr. Terrific has been around, but I feel like in the next movie they should expand on him a little bit. He has the biggest role out of all the side characters, that's for sure, besides Lois Lane. I watched a few reviews before I came and saw this movie. Eric Voss from New Rockstars gave it a 9.5 out of 10. Angry Joe, Final Verdict, gave it a 6 out of 10. Alex from the Angry Joe Show gave it a 7 out of 10, which is very fucking mind-boggling to me, considering the fact that Angry Joe is the Superman fan and Alex is more like nonchalant, doesn't really like anything most of the time. And the fact that he gave a Superman movie a higher score than the Superman fan is fucking crazy, right? And then you have Tyrone Magnus, who said the movie was trash. Now, if you are a fan of Tyrone Magnus, very cool for you. I'm happy for you. I hope you enjoy his content, okay? But if you are dumb enough to take his movie reviews seriously, like, come on, bro. Come on, man. The chemistry between Lois Lane and Superman, 10 out of 10. I thought they had awesome chemistry. Even through the trailers, you could feel their chemistry, and I thought it was perfect. Great casting for the both of them, especially for Lois. Beautiful casting. I didn't have a single problem with her other than the fact that I feel like she just didn't do enough as a journalist. I love Lex Luthor. I thought he was more unhinged than I thought he would be. I don't know if I would rather Lex Luthor to be a little bit more calculated, a little bit more calm and nonchalant. He's very fucking smart. This dude has the fucking Alcatraz within a pocket dimension. This nigga built a meta-human prison within a pocket dimension. Am I the only one that's blown away by that? Like, what the fuck? I thought that was super cool. So I think the movie did a good job at highlighting his intellect, but I just wish he was just a little more calculated. He's very self-aware in this movie. He even goes out to make that a point, where there is a scene where Superman calls him envious, and Lex is like, "You don't think I fucking know that? You don't think I fucking cringe every time they compare me to Einstein and all these other..." So he's very self-aware, right? I like his character. I don't really have too many complaints from him. Who else is left? Krypto. I love what I got from Krypto, but then I didn't love Krypto. You know what I mean? I feel the way I feel towards Krypto is exactly how Superman feels towards Krypto in this fucking movie. I tolerated Krypto. Superman tolerates Krypto. Come to find out, Krypto is not Superman's dog. It's more of a foster situation. Krypto does not listen to shit. He's kind of dumb, very disobedient, very hyperactive, has no boundaries. And it's kind of annoying, like, but maybe that's part of the character development that we might get from Krypto. You can tell Superman cares about Krypto only because he cares about everybody. He cares about everything, every living creature. There's like a very brief scene where he's fighting the fucking dragon, and he goes out of his way to save a squirrel that's about to get crushed. A squirrel, not a cat in a tree. A fucking squirrel. So this dude has a very strong sense of life. He cares about everything, not just people, not just himself, not just the people he loves. He cares about everybody, every fucking thing. If it breathes, Superman cares about it. So the Justice Gang shows up to fight this dragon, right? And then there's just nothing they can do with it because it's just too goddamn big. The whole time Superman is like, we gotta find a way to take this thing out and put it somewhere and study it. And Mr. Terrific, Guy Gardner, Hot Girl, they're all like, yo, fuck that shit. We're killing this motherfucker, right? So they do exactly that. They kill him. The whole time Superman is just like, this isn't right. This is, he's visibly upset. And he's just like, there should have been something that we could have done to save this creature's life. You know what I mean? So he cares about everybody. He cares about life. That right there is why I think David Cornsweet did a great job as Superman. James Gunn did a great job directing his version of Superman. Now, speaking of James Gunn, this movie is very, very, very much James Gunn-esque. And what I mean by that is, if you were to walk into this movie, sit down and watch it, and you had no idea who the director was, you would easily be able to tell that it's a James Gunn movie. Especially with the fight scene with Mr. Terrific. That was so Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know what else was. Also, there was another scene. This has nothing to do with James Gunn, but it kind of reminds me of Marvel. There's a scene at the very end of the movie where Krypto is beating the fucking dog shit, pun intended, out of Lex Luthor while he's giving his villainous monologue. So Krypto comes in, interrupts, and starts just manhandling the fuck out of Lex Luthor, right? And that scene reminded me of where Loki was screaming at the Hulk, and the Hulk just grabs him and starts throwing him around like a fucking rag doll, slamming him into the ground. That's exactly how it happened with Lex Luthor and Krypto. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it was very like beat by beat, bar for bar type shit. Yeah. But I thoroughly enjoyed this movie, and it made me happy seeing that the people in the theaters really enjoyed this fucking movie. They were clapping. They clapped at the end. I wasn't expecting that. Like, they loved this movie, bro. They were laughing at all the fucking comedic relief moments and shit like that. As far as that goes, I feel like they were perfectly placed. I was worried that they would have been overdone because of the reviews that I've seen kind of said that James Gunn overdid it a little bit. I don't agree with that. I think he did a very good job with the comedic relief. I just don't have too much negative to say. I think it's a 9 out of 10 for sure. I just didn't like Krypto most of the time. I didn't. Um, I don't see a reason why Hawk Girl was in this movie. Lex Luthor could have been a little bit more calculated. Lois Lane could have did a little bit more journalism. But yeah, that's it. That's it. If you've seen the movie, tell me what you thought about the movie in the comments below. And yeah, I will catch y'all on the next one. Tyrone, that's your cue.
It's Superman! Dun, 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 dun.